we are live. Live. It's that fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Where we go live. So, are you ready for this?
I think so.
Okay, good. Let's make sure this is in the right place. Yeah, we're good. All right. It's June 19th, 2023. And these are your Fortean Files. Well, if I could do this right tonight. Another fun week out there in the world. Things are happening. Moving and shaking. I don't know. Are you doing any moving and shaking? No?
No.
No. Yeah. It's been a week. It's been yet another week.
It has.
Yet another week out there in the great wide world. I meant to talk to you before we had started the show, but I got rambling or too busy. I can't fucking remember what it was that I got doing. About like true crime for the second half of the show.
Well, I sent you one.
You did?
Yeah.
Which one? You sent me a Loch Ness one. I know that.
The
Was it before that?
the Delphi one, the Richard Allen.
Oh yeah. We can look into that.
Yeah.
Richard Allen.
He had a hearing.
I think that it's Richard Allen. The Richard Allen. If that dude speaks in a British accent, it's
No,
all over.
he doesn't. But I remember when he got arrested and I heard his name the first time. I was like, no way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, fucking absolutely.
Yeah, it's the first thing I thought of. So,
Yeah.
but no, I don't think
Jesus.
those two chaps have anything in common. So,
All right. Well, that's good.
yeah.
And I saw that Crime Weekly there had put out another episode of the Daybell
Yes.
case there.
I haven't started them yet because I kind of want to binge them. I don't like when I have to wait a week. So I save them up. Sometimes if I know it's going to be a good long series, I'll save up 2-3 episodes and then binge. So
Yeah, they got like 3 of them out right now. Yeah, so you said you delved into the how to create a sex scandal. We'll talk about that in the second half.
word.
So save that. We'll
Word.
definitely talk about that in the second half. But that was one that that blew my mind. I walked away from that not knowing what to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. All right. Good. We're on the same page then.
I know I'm just making noises at the moment, but I have things to say.
Yeah, good. We'll get into that later, but yeah, it's been a pretty interesting week. I've got some interesting stories for us to go through. I think. Yeah, picked up some cheetah piss.
That's such a weird thing to say, Chris.
I know, right? I picked up some cheetah piss today.
Got it off the black market, you know.
No, I seriously, the folks, I picked up some cheetah piss. I don't know if you can all see that. Cheetah piss. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Some good stuff, anyway. Yeah, I recommend it. If, I don't know if you can find cheetah piss where you're at.
Do you imagine
But
going in and asking for that?
But if you can, yeah, could I get some cheetah piss? Son, I think you're in the wrong store. shit. Anywho, yeah, it's been a week, so we'll get right into the stories of the night. Oh, where am I here? Oh, I changed my thing around, so it's over here. Bum bum bum. We'll go with this one first, Katie. We'll go with this one first. From ky3.com. The place to be, it says on the website. Horror at Springfield haunted house after vandals damage over $1,000 worth of property. In Springfield, Missouri, the owner of a popular haunted house woke up to a scary sight Saturday morning when he found broken locks, windows, and even pulled down barbed wire at both the Hotel of Terror and the Dungeons of Doom. Sterling Mathis says it's a problem he just doesn't need right now. It makes you angry. It makes me angry, said Mathis. I don't need to be fixing windows and, hunting down people that have destroyed my stuff. I don't need to be doing that. I want to come here. I want to have something fun for them to come and go through and have a good time, not destroy stuff. After he noticed the damage, he checked his many security cameras, both at Dungeon and the Hotel of Terror, when he saw teenagers trying to break in both the hotel and the dungeon. Mathis says he just wants the kids to be held responsible. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, here's an image for you. I'll show you this one.
He's lucky it was only $1,000. Broken windows get expensive.
I mean, I watched the video earlier when I was going through it. There is video.
Those little shits.
There's video of one of the kids like busting the locks, and so it sucks. I mean,
It does.
I hate to see that happen to a business owner. I mean, I don't know what type of guy he is, but I don't think it matters. You don't need to have vandals coming in and destroying your property.
Right.
There's protections for that.
Well, and if he's a seasonal business like that, he probably doesn't have fantastic insurance for that sort of thing either.
It sounds like it's something that's all the time. Yeah, it sounds like it's a year-round business. So it's in Ohio too, not far from where old Steve-O lives. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah, it is too bad. It just makes it shitty.
Kids are still rotten. They've always been rotten. They'll always be rotten.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Kids suck. I was just telling somebody about an instance when I was younger, where I got chased through town. By kids. They set me up.
When you were a kid or as an adult?
No, when I was a kid.
Oh.
They set me up. Had me they had a girl call me and tell me to meet, and told me to meet her in the woods. And when I got out there, they all came out.
Oh, that's so awful. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah, kids suck.
Yeah.
Kids suck.
I did my fair share of shitty things, but not that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the awful 90s three-way call where you trick somebody and you got somebody on the other line and you convince them to say something crappy about that other person, and then they're really listening and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you'd say that.
Yeah, there was all kinds of shit kids have done.
Yeah.
To be shitty. So this is nothing new.
No, it's not.
And I guess I watched the video, and I guess he's found out who the offenders are, and he just wants, to work with the police to try to get them, bring them to justice or whatever.
Learn their lesson.
Pay,
they need it.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They don't need to be going on to a life of fucking crime over this type of shit, or, it's just stupid. This type of stuff is stupid. Yeah.
And if their parents don't know about it, they need to so they can beat them.
Yeah. Right? it's so. I wonder how often, if there was just some intervention early on, if people could, if kids who wound up getting mucked up in the youth juvenile system, or jail early on, if there was some way we could have got through to them, if that
Right.
shit could be avoided.
I don't know though. I've known lots of kids who did go through the juvie system, and thank God they got the shit together and it didn't cost them down a career of crime, That
Right.
they did get locked up in juvie and they got it together and became productive members of society. So,
Well, I mean that's good, but I just, I have to wonder sometimes if we do it wrong. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
I just have to wonder.
for
So, and when
sure.
I hear a case like this, where there's a bunch of kids that did something stupid, um, I just wonder if maybe when we look at all kinds of cases like this across the board, if there isn't a better way that we can go about it, so
Right.
that because a lot of this stuff, like when kids get this stuff and it goes on their records, it's hard to get that shit off.
Right.
So even if you're a kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it feels to me, it feels like we could do better.
Yeah. Well, and it's tough because every kid's different. Something
Yeah.
that would get through to one kid and really speak to him isn't going to mean shit to another, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Very,
it's
very
tough.
true. Yeah, you have to do it as a case by case basis.
Hmm.
Anywho, our next story of the evening from thedailystar.co.uk. Possible Bigfoot footprints measuring 16 inches found pressed into mud. Bigfoot enthusiasts are claiming to have found the elusive beast in the middle of Arkansas after odd-looking footprints measuring 16 inches were found pressed into mud. Dad of two, Chase Whaley, or Wally, I don't know, Whaley I'm going to call it, excuse me, said in the Bigfoot Believers Facebook group, which boasts more than 133,000 followers, that he believes he has evidence of the elusive beast in Pike County, Arkansas. Photos he shared revealed several footprints nearly twice the size of his own feet. He joked, "We either got us a Bigfoot or a shoeless meth head down at the dump. Either way, he's a biggin." Yeah, I'll give him points.
Okay.
So here's I'll let you see the images, so you guys can all decide for yourself. Boom, you folks. That's his foot next to the footprint there,
Is that how the dirt was found?
I guess.
That looks super fake to me.
And then there's that one.
It looks super fake.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's what you
That
get,
first
Katie.
one, that first one looks like they found a big pile of mud and had a cookie, whatever.
A cookie cutter Bigfoot imprint.
Yes, yes, and they pushed it in, and all the mud squirted out on the side. I don't know. It looks the toes are like so perfect. No,
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Okay. Hey,
Just me.
I don't. I don't have an opinion. I'm not a foot dude. So I'd say let's call in Dr. Meldrum,
I was just gonna say that too.
but unfortunately, him and I aren't on good speaking terms. So
Maybe I could do the
there's
bait and switch on him, and I could
there's
ask him.
there's that. The bait and switch. Yeah,
Yeah,
hi, I'm Katie.
yeah. I present really well. I could totally pull it off.
Well, and that was when I was doing the Fortean slip. Although
Yeah.
this
See?
this isn't much fucking different in a name.
Yeah. You couldn't really call it a rebrand. Hey.
So I don't know, but yeah, the good Dr. Meldrum and I aren't on the best of speaking terms, I guess you could say. So
No.
I'd ask him. I'd be willing to bring him in on this one. I'd be like, Dr. Meldrum, what do you think? What is your expert opinion? And I'll try to overlook the fact that you went out in the woods with fucking Todd Standing.
That's hard.
Yeah.
It's real hard.
It's fucking really, really hard, to be honest. Anyway, our next story of the evening. What can I go with, Katie? What can we do? Let's do your story that you sent me. Let's do from the metro.co.uk. Loch Ness tourists spot huge dark shape making waves in the water. I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name. Etienne? Does that sound right?
No.
Etienne.
I have no idea.
Camel? I'm not going to say camel.
Well, isn't that how it's spelled?
That's how it's spelled, but...
Well, then just say camel.
But what if it's Camel?
I feel like it would have an E on the end of it if it was Kamel. But this dude's what, like Irish or something? I don't know.
He's French.
French, whatever. Yeah, it would definitely have an E on it.
Anyway,
if it was
is a self-professed man of science. But when the French pharmacist saw a strange shadow beneath the waters of Loch Ness, there seemed to be only one explanation. What is that explanation going to be, Katie?
Huh. I don't know. I got nothing, Chris. What could it be?
Loch Ness. Strange shadow. Waves.
I feel like we've heard this before.
Pod of seals?
That's viable. Maybe shadow.
Is that what they're
from the
called?
sky?
Are they called a pod? I don't fucking remember.
I think so. I don't know.
Anyway, there seemed to be only one explanation. Nessie. He had visited Scotland with his wife Eliane this week for a week-long trip. The couple were driving along the A82 on Wednesday when Mr. Camel stopped to take some holiday snaps from the west side of the loch near Invermorston. And if I'm wrong on the whole camel thing, Katie, I blame you.
I'll take it.
It was then at 3:30 p.m. he noticed something very large. For around 3 minutes, they say they watched a dark shape 15 to 20 meters, 49 feet to 65 feet long on the surface of the calm loch before disappearing. Mr. Camel, 58, said, "It was quite strange. I am a man of science, so I never believed that the Loch Ness Monster is a prehistoric animal. But when I was taking a picture, I saw this long, long shadow. I called my wife over, and we saw the shadow move. There were waves. Eliane saw what I saw. I thought maybe it was a cloud, but there was none, or a boat, but none was near, or reefs. There were small waves, like something was moving. It was 15 to 20 meters long and was about 150 meters away. It was quite strange, and then it disappeared. We waited for about 5 to 10 minutes, but it never came back. I don't know what it was. We never saw any scales or head. Maybe it was a very large fish or eel. We don't know. It is a mystery and very hard to explain. We could not tell if it was an animal, but something was moving under the water. I have never seen such phenomenon in lakes, and we have many where we live before. It has now been logged as the second sighting of Nessie this year by the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. Bum, bum, bum. Is that image at the top, is that his image?
I had assumed it was.
Yeah?
I thought it was, yes, but maybe it's not. Because
it was the same picture that was with the other article you sent me that we couldn't use.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if it is correct or not. So I'm not going to show that one, but I guess this dude thinks he saw Nessie. Had to be Nessie. Couldn't be anything else. Couldn't possibly be anything besides Nessie. That's why this stuff irritates the fucking piss out of me.
I know. Especially if that picture was real, like I had assumed it was. There's clouds in the sky. He's like, there's clearly not a cloud in the sky. There's clouds in the sky.
Well, and here's the thing, okay? So, they want to be taken seriously. But when you go into these things saying, it definitely was this, there's no way it could be... All right, you've already blown... For me... You've blown your credibility out of the fucking water. Yeah. You're not willing to think rationally about things because I can see things in this world and still go, yeah, I'm not too sure. Right. Like I've talked about my supposed quote unquote UFO sighting on this show, but I say I don't know what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I don't sit there and say it was aliens. Or it was definitely a UFO. Like, it could have been definitely identified. I don't fucking know. Right. I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
I just know what I saw. Or what I saw from my perspective, I should say.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Too many people are just fucking, they're dead set. It was Bigfoot. It was Nessie. It was aliens. You don't know.
Well, and especially at such a place like Loch Ness, where there's such localized lore in this one spot.
Yeah.
And it really creates people's certainty.
Yeah, it's and for the people that are all in with this, it's a hot topic. Like they get angry. Bigfoot believers, you fucking tread on their bullshit. Speaking of which, I'd like to say welcome back, Phil Poling.
Yeah.
To the world of bunking. I don't know exactly what he's doing. He's putting out videos. Some of them have to do with debunking thing, I think. I don't understand it. I've never understood Phil. This is a man that asked me to watch Little Big Man in a Google Hangout. So
what? That's weird.
The movie Little Big Man. Yeah, with Dustin Hoffman. Yeah. Phil.
What a guy.
He's a guy. He's a dude with a tiki bar.
Yep.
And if you want to understand Phil, first of all, you better get your alcohol tolerance up because you'll have alcohol poisoning if you try to understand him the first time.
Yeah. You gotta work yourself up to it.
You have to, there's some work to be done to get to the level so that you can understand Phil Poling. There's a meter to the amount of alcohol that one must be able to consume and still function.
Right. It's key.
It's very important. I've watched him in action. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. Like, I've never seen anybody with the Olympic alcoholic grace of Phil Poling.
It's a talent, I guess.
The ability to fall next to a fire whilst drinking out of a flask the size of a fucking pillow. And manage to fall backwards into your chair perfectly.
Wow. That's
the man,
good.
I held up a 10. Instantly. I don't know where I got it from, but you had instantly. I was just fucking like, there. You've done well, son. And he's much, much older than me.
Right. Oh, he's had lots of practice.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think anybody can match up with the one great Phil Poling. So, welcome back, Phil. I've been watching your videos, so
Yes, me too.
it's good to see you. Anywho, on to our next story of the evening. No more lockiness. No more lockiness, Katie. Instead, Katie, I give you another lake monster. So, but this one isn't a story per se. It's just a video
Okay.
that I found from a story, and I just didn't want to fucking deal. So, here's this. We'll go boom. You can see that right, all right?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
What is it?
Yeah, there's bubbles coming up. Yeah. What is that? Whoa! What is it? What is that? Take pictures. Whoa!
Katie, what is it?
I'd love to know.
What on earth? Is it coming? Oh, here it comes. Looks like it's coming up. Get back. Oh my goodness. Look at it. You can see all the white. Oh. What is that? Is that a blobberfish? Maybe a Charlie. That's what I was thinking.
Hey, Lauren, are you not jumping?
I like the ominous music.
Right.
No. I can't believe you were just swimming in there. It's coming back. Yes. The bubbles are right there. Right there. Oh my word. What on earth?
Oh my.
So dramatic.
Oh my gosh, you guys, look at the bubbles. What is happening? It just comes and tips over the bubbles. No, it's not. It's like as big as a person. Oh my gosh, look at that.
It's like as big as a person.
That was so anticlimactic.
It's as big as a person.
What was it?
I don't fucking know. My first guess is that it's somebody in scuba gear fucking with them.
That would be cool.
That's my guess, because there's all the bubbles.
Yeah.
To me, that makes kind of sense.
That's true.
But-
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know of any, like, underwater creatures that expel that much air.
Without coming back up for more.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. Very valid.
So.
Unless there was something stirring up the bottom.
That's a lot of bubbles.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
It was a lot of shit.
I like
I
your
don't thi-
explanation. It works.
That's what I went with, and I didn't see it as anything like really paranormal or strange.
Yeah. Right.
I thought the people were just kind of freaking out over nothing.
Yes, there are city people who've never been on the river before.
Yeah. It's about the size of a human. Yeah.
Oh, my.
That's probably because it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to burst your bubble there, honey. But it's probably a dude. Or a chick. God only knows. People fucking fuck with people all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
Or it could just be a place where people go scuba diving once in a
Farmer
while.
Fred Smith, what is that? What is what, Farmer Fred Smith? You need to be fucking way more specific. Way more specific.
I'm guessing he's asking about the thing we're asking what it is, too.
I don't know. The man, he just wanders in. Just hey! Like a drunk. I don't understand Farmer Fred Smith either. He's another one.
Well, he's all we got, Chris.
He was gonna start a fucking, the cult.
Yep, the rat boy.
The rat boy cult.
He's supposed to be feeding
And
us something too, some pterodactyl or something.
the man is unreliable.
Yeah.
This is what I know about Farmer Fred Smith. He is reliable in that he will be here Mondays, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Mondays at 7 p.m. more often than not
Yeah.
to listen to the show live. That's the only reliability we have from Farmer Fred Smith.
He is technically doing better than Fuckteen Cooper.
Fuckteen Cooper is a man. No, he's not a man.
He's a wizard.
Wizards have some form of fucking intelligence.
Aw.
Dean is a homeless man trying to portray himself as a learned wizard.
I'll say some of his quasi videos are pretty good. Some of those quasi theories or whatever.
Listen, some of those fucking videos that Soft White Underbelly does, those people from Skid Row, are pretty fucking interesting too. But that doesn't make them.
That wasn't
not
a very nice
still...
comparison. It's pretty rude.
For Dean?
Yeah.
I know.
I
But
know.
but listen. The motherfucker doesn't show up.
Yeah.
So, that's all I gotta say.
Well,
He doesn't, I mean, stand up and be counted, Dean.
he's just a poor old bearded fella.
I don't know that he is.
No.
Are you saying he's like Aqualung in the Jethro Tull song?
I don't think so.
Sitting on the park bench.
I don't know. How old is Dean anyways? I really don't even know.
Dean saw the last American Indian War. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he was still alive when they were shooting bow and arrows at one another.
Probably.
I'm pretty
so
sure.
He's gotta have some wisdom in there. He's learned.
That doesn't. Listen, age doesn't necessarily mean that, though.
Experience, Chris. Life experience.
No.
He's seen some shit in his years.
He's senile at this point.
Starting to lose it. His back line.
It's been going on for a while.
Oh, Dean.
You know, there's years ago I used to have a real true super fan. I can't remember his name. And he's gone now. He passed away. God rest his soul.
That sucks.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and look and remember who the fuck he was.
Right.
I do remember the dude though, enough to mention it. I know
Right.
that. That was at one point in time the show. Well, not this show, the original show had a super fan, but not anymore. 'Cause Dean can't fucking stand up. Dean can't make it. If only we could count on him for a couple of things.
I think he just doesn't have it in him anymore.
It could be. Dean, I recommend you see your doctor about some pills for that. Make that thing stand up.
You got room in your day of the week pill box for another pill?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure he told me that he doesn't have any heart issues. So yeah, you can take that pill. You'll be all right. Then listen, Dean, you take care of the wife, then you can watch the show.
Yes. Get her a new hobby for Monday nights. She can go bowling or something.
Dean, this is me solving your problems. Taking these issues in, spitting out. I'm not even gonna ask.
Joe just caught a big ass fish, a bass, and he just stuck it in the doorway to show me, and it's this huge big ass bass. He's been out fishing, so I'm sorry I couldn't hide my excitement for him. It was a really impressive fish.
Hey, that's worthwhile.
It was very distracting.
We do like to look at humongous catfish catches on this show. So
yes, yeah.
If Joe could go noodling in the fucking lake or pond, I don't know which it is, but if Joe could go noodling and catch a fucking big ass catfish, then I'll be impressed.
It's a lake, but we really don't have noodling conditions around on this lake. We would have to travel to go noodling.
Then take Joe noodling, because I want a fucking catfish
he would be good at it for sure.
From fucking Joe. Listen, he can't lose any fingers to like an alligator gar or anything like that, because then I'd feel horrible.
Oh, no, we don't have alligator gar around here. We have gar, but not alligator gar.
I if Joe like lost a finger or something trying to catch a catfish, noodling, I'd be like,
no, they don't have teeth. I mean, they're really strong.
Oh yeah.
No, it'll be fine. I would try it, but I'd probably be too much of a pansy. I wouldn't want to get in the water. It's not the touching of the fish; it's the touching of the bottom of the lake that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And our next story of the evening, Katie, from the mirror.co.uk. This is going back to a story we did last week. NASA says UFO that crashed in Las Vegas was a small meteor, but cops hope to find aliens. Numerous reports came in of seeing a mysterious green object tear across the sky near Las Vegas, Nevada, and neighbors reported seeing an 8-foot-tall humanoid in their back garden. NASA have said that the UFO reported in Las Vegas was likely a meteor, but cops still hope to find aliens. This came after a man called the Las Vegas Police Department saying an object fell from the sky and claimed he saw an 8-foot-tall being in his backyard. The space agency's planetary defense officer, Lindley Johnson, has said the green fireball seen last month was likely a bright meteor, less than a meter wide. The startled Las Vegas resident told a 911 dispatcher, "It has big eyes and it's looking at us." Officers reportedly found the report credible and responded to the scene on May 1st. In body cam footage of the incident, one man says, "Me and him saw it." Another says, "It was like a big creature, around 10 feet tall." An officer reassures the men and can be heard saying, "I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners saw something fall out of the sky, too." Footage captured by another officer's body cam appears to show a glowing green orb fall out of the sky. It was recorded on the American Meteor Society's fireball logs, but not those of NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, or CNEOS. Mr. Johnson explained the CNEOS website only captures reports for objects that are estimated to have exceeded 1 meter in size based on the observed total energy released. In other words, natural objects which were large enough to be categorized as asteroids prior to entering the Earth's atmosphere. I needed a drink. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah.
Is this the same alien story that we talked about last week from Las Vegas, or is this a different one?
Yes. No, this is the same one. This is why I'm saying. That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
He also quashed any suggestion it could have landed in Vegas. He said it would have been high in the atmosphere and hundreds of miles away from the city when it was spotted. He added, "So nothing from the meteor landed in anyone's backyard in Vegas." Some of the body cam footage was redacted by police because it was taken on private property. Police have said no UFO was found. Officers appear to have found the 911 caller's claims serious as they conducted an extensive search and even flagged a car down to ask if the occupants had seen any tall and non-human beings. Yeah, that's interesting. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go with interesting on that one.
Yeah, the people have come out and spoke a little bit more about like how they've gone into hiding a little bit and they're just overwhelmed and
Yeah.
I don't know what to think. I don't want to say I don't believe them, but I definitely I don't know. You're hard pressed to find me be like, "Yep, it's aliens."
I don't listen. I'm not at all saying that this is definitely aliens or that they are for sure telling the truth. All I'm saying, as I have said, is that I think this one has some legs. You know, I think it's worth looking into. I think it might have some fucking legs. And if it doesn't, I said it might have some fucking legs.
Some spiny green alien legs.
I don't have a lot of faith in those legs.
Right.
So we'll see. As with anything that we look at on this show, I am very, very skeptical. I have to be.
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of horse shit. And this stuff deserves to be looked at with a skeptical eye. It deserves to be looked at and questioned. Because if it can handle the scrutiny, then it might be real.
Right. I think the most thing that makes it most suspicious to me, and this is probably weird and wrong and just my weird brain, but it's weird to me that the major media has picked it up so much. I mean, it's really been reported a lot in some like mainstream news settings, like real news, not like talk show, lazy stuff, like real news.
It's been really big. Really big.
I don't know why that's so hard for me to like digest legitimately, but it's just a little weird. I feel weird about it.
Yeah, I agree. There's something odd about it. Something screams propaganda.
Well, and that's what I mean. And that
it.
sort of thing is like legally allowed, apparently. So it makes me think, well, what else should I be looking at instead of that? What are they trying to distract us from?
That's a good question.
I know that's not a popular thing to say, but
lots of things aren't popular right now.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I think, people need to realize is that things can be not popular and it doesn't have any like political side.
Right.
Like it's speech. Like this is like a thing.
It's opinion, and we all have one.
Yeah. So I don't know where we're headed with this stuff. Like the stuff that's getting censored now.
Yeah. Ugh.
Like it scares me with doing this and where we broadcast live to YouTube. They're constantly taking down shit for the stupidest fucking thing.
Right.
So, when does the other fucking shoe drop? And for the record, I talked about this a little bit last week on the show. I'm no longer going to be using Facebook. There is literally no sense in me using that Facebook page anymore. Zero reason for me to use it. They've basically told me that the only way to fix it is to remove the offending admin. And I'm the offending admin. I'm the only admin.
Wow.
And it's gotten to the point where it's not worth it. I built a page so big that it was doing so well, and then they smacked it and made it so that it did nothing. And that was the Fortean Slip page. So I decided to take that, go make a new page for this new show, the Fortean Files, and drag people from the Fortean Slip over there and start a new thing. And as soon as I did, I got smacked again for another post, which I contested. And then they came back and said, oh yeah, no, you were right. We're going to put that post back up. You're all good. But when I looked back at the the page that shows me my restrictions, it said that the page was restricted.
So really, the problem is you as an administrator, apparently, not
the content that's been posted. And the content isn't a fucking problem either.
No. People post the same shit.
So if you would like to follow the stuff that is going on for the show, I will continue to post the links to the YouTube, the live stream for a little while on the Facebook page, but I'm going to stop altogether eventually. I'm done with it. I may shut down my Facebook account to the point where I'm just using it for like Messenger. I just don't even give a shit anymore.
That's where I'm at.
But if you want to follow the show, you can go to Twitter at Fortean Files. It's at capital Fortean, capital Files. And I'm pretty much doing the same thing over there. So it's yeah, it's a little bit of the same thing but different.
Yeah, you at least have a little more freedom of speech over there, apparently.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I'm hoping lasts at Twitter is I'll be able to post whatever the fuck I want and say what I want. Whereas on Facebook, I haven't been able to do that at all. They tend to come after me for everything. Like at one point, I used to, for fun, and this was just a thing that I used to do on Facebook. Because it was part of my personality. I love to fuck with people, and I just love to get into fucking arguments with them. People were being
the internet.
People were being dicks on the fucking Facebook page. I'd fucking just go after them.
Yeah.
And you can't do that anymore because that's considered bullying.
Well, you know, the thing that gives me hope about this whole censorship thing is, first of all, there are a lot of people speaking out and agreeing, like, hey, this is some fucking Orwell shit. You know, a lot of people are...
This is some draconian fucking...
Yes.
Like you were saying, Orwellian fucking shit. Yes.
And so lots of people are speaking up about that. And I don't agree with it. But the reason why Facebook is the way it is a business thing. As it's like the same thing if... Like, this is a virtual space and we're still working it out. It's all still new. But this is their business. It's no different than like having a store and having the right to refuse service. Like, this is my space. You can't do that here. And that's their right to police their business the way they want. And that's like kind of economics. And I get that. But we're still working this out like back in the MySpace days. They didn't need to censor it because it wasn't really like a social thing for people to give a shit about sponsorships and representation and stuff like that. So like it just wasn't a thing. So we're still like working out the kinks of this new thing that never used to exist. And I think there's a large enough population of people who are like, yo, what happened to freedom of speech? But business has to like still drive that way.
Well, and here's the thing. If something is going to be a speech platform, then it needs to be what it is.
But that's a very nuanced thing. And that's what I mean. Like, we're still working out. We still need a bigger mass of people to speak up and request that space. You know what I mean? We want somebody to provide this to us, this service of a platform where we're not censored. Yeah. And business still needs to work to that. Because right now, all of the social media is still run by sponsorships and advertisements.
No, I want it. All I know right now is that, you know, it's a ticking time bomb as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm done there. We'll continue to do this here on YouTube for as long as we can. I do post the shows to Rumble. If we can't go live to YouTube, I can always Katie and I can record the shows and I can upload them. There'll still be a podcast. There'll still be, you know, I can still upload them to Rumble. But you know, who knows? Who knows? With the way the climate is right now, I don't trust any of it.
Right.
I don't trust any of it.
For sure.
Anywho, our title story of the evening from MSN.com. So actually from Giant Freaking Robot. See the terrifying new robot that can pack itself flat and turn into every shape. Frequent flyers rejoice as a team of Swiss researchers have crafted a foldable flat robot capable of rotating itself into nearly any shape one can imagine, fitting easily under any airplane seat or overhead cabin. The robot, whose design was inspired by the decorative flair of Japanese origami, is able to pack itself completely flat like a piece of IKEA furniture. According to a recent write-up in Futurism, according to a recent write-up in Future. Jesus, I can't even fucking read today. With other recent developments in science and robotics leading to incredible advancements, such as liquid robots that can phase through metal bars like a T-1000, as well as a host of robotic enhancements courtesy of Boston Dynamics, many people are beginning to fear that science has gone too far. The roboticist team who crafted the flat robot consists of researchers from Switzerland's École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, who set out to assist astronauts on board spacecraft. The machines, which have been dubbed the Mori 3, will surely be a help with orbiting space cadets due to the cramped environments present on most satellites and space stations. Interesting. There is a video.
I'll say I kind of want to see this thing. Like, what's it look like when it's not flat?
Let me see. So this is. Let me see if I can pop this one up. It's on YouTube here. Share screen. Let me see. That's the robot. This is it.
Whoa. Huh.
Yeah, that's some cool stuff.
So what's this thing supposed to do?
I don't know. Can like
The
move
fuck?
itself. I don't know. Can do shit.
Well, it's still pretty clunky, but it does look pretty.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously they're working towards something.
Yeah, clearly there's
And
a
right
lot
now,
going on there.
and right now there's all kinds of wires,
Right.
and you know, like as with anything, this stuff develops. It becomes they put batteries into it.
They're
Like
getting
look
it
at the
functional before they make it pretty.
little fucking the MIT dog there.
Yeah.
The robotic dog thing. That
Yeah.
thing has been through all kinds of incarnations,
Oh yeah.
you know.
That's
So
pretty cool.
it's interesting what they're doing with this stuff. I'm very fascinated with, you know, advances in robotics and AI and, you know, seeing where that stuff is going to lead us. I was watching I don't know if I shared it on this show, the robot that it expands out, like it just keeps like going forward. It can like tunnel through the sand and shit. Yeah, it's pretty wild what this thing can do, and they think that they can use it to help rescue people in like through rubble and shit. But I'm fascinated to see where the technology leads, and seeing something like this, I go, yeah, it sounds like, you know, end of the world AI shit in some respects, but in other respects, it's like, well, you know, maybe it's something that we can use.
Yeah. You want to see it
utilize.
used for good.
Right, it can be utilized.
Yeah.
And utilized well. So.
But we have to draw a line. There needs to be a line drawn.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been
with
drawn
robots?
yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We should like set a standard of rules of what you can do with a robot or something.
They have those. Asimov wrote them, actually.
What?
Isaac Asimov.
I'm not
He's
familiar.
a science fiction writer. Talked about robots and artificial intelligence, and that you would need to create certain rules for the robots.
That seems really necessary.
Nah. Yeah. A lot of people have thought that for a long time.
Well, good. I'm glad. It seems super obvious to me.
Anywho, yeah, so we will take our break. I'll put on the sounds of night driving, and we will take a short break, and then Katie and I will be back to discuss some things, true crime, and maybe cult related. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But here's some night driving, as we all love. And if you don't love it, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Me too.
Because I think night driving's pretty awesome. And Katie and I will be back shortly. We are back. Yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love some night driving. Gotta love some night driving. From Fred Smith, Robots are the Devil's Work. Robots may be the devil's work, but I still want a Roomba.
They are nice. My mom has one.
Just saying, Farmer Fred Smith. I still want a Roomba. Anyway, let me see if I can find that story you'd sent me earlier.
So I tried to pick one that didn't give too much of a backstory because it's a lot and it's a really well-known case. So
right,
it's mostly just an update on what recently happened. So
let me see what I got here. Oh, I got Loch Ness. There it is, right there. All right. From Wayne, WANE.com. Prosecutor Richard Allen confessed 5 or 6 times to Delphi murders. For any that don't know, the Delphi murders, that's the 2 little girls, right? That
Abby
they found. Yeah, and the last known, they were out by themselves, like walking along this old like road, like
it's a woods, like a nature reserve that had an old
like
bridge.
a trail sort of thing. So it was like an old road, like you were saying, with a bridge. Wasn't there a camera involved that they had on them?
With their phones.
Yeah.
One of the girls took video, two different, one of the dude approaching, and then another one of him speaking and saying down the hill.
Right. Okay. So, that's some backstory about this. But anyway, Delphi, it's Indiana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prosecutor Nick McClellan said in court Thursday that Richard Allen confessed 5 or 6 times that he killed best friends Abby Williams and Libby German on remote historic trail in Delphi in February 2017. He made multiple confessions to multiple people, McClellan said on Thursday. Richard Allen's defense attorney acknowledged incriminating statements made by Allen, but attributed the comments to his client's deteriorating mental state. He has made incriminating statements implicating himself in the crime, said Allen's defense attorney, Bradley Rossi. Defense attorneys and prosecutors made arguments in court Thursday about statements previously made by Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen, including the reported confessions of the murders. A trial date was also set for early January 2024. Allen faces 2 counts of murder in the February 2017 deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German. Allen, looking gaunt, appeared in court Thursday in a yellow jumpsuit. During the hearing, defense attorneys indicated that Allen had made self-incriminating statements linking him to the girls' deaths. Prosecutor Nick McClellan agreed Allen had made admissions. McClellan claimed Allen made multiple confessions to multiple people. Several times during Thursday's hearing, defense attorneys along with the prosecutor mentioned these reported confessions by Allen to the murders of Abby and Libby. However, Allen's attorneys argued the statements couldn't be trusted because of their client's mental state. They want him moved out of Westville Correctional Facility to a county jail for his mental health and well-being. His defense team suggested Allen has made inconsistent statements since his arrest and attributed them to the stress of his captivity and his increasing difficulty in communicating with his attorneys. Defense attorney Brad Rossi said Allen's mental and physical well-being has deteriorated since his arrest last fall. Prosecutors argued that Allen's treatment is humane. This goes on for a little bit more. Allen's attorneys want him moved to Cass County Jail. A judge took this move under advisement. Allen's statements, which he made previously and were revealed for the first time in public, dominated Thursday's hearing. The proceedings started at 10 a.m. at the Carroll County Courthouse in Delphi. Judge Fran Gull from Allen County has been assigned to the case after Benjamin Diner, a Carroll County judge, recused himself last year. Why did he recuse himself?
I don't remember. It's a really small town, and I think he just felt like it was appropriate to let another judge come in and handle it.
Huh.
It just, with how small of an area it is, and Allen County is the second most populous county in the state.
Yeah,
so,
I wonder if it was just a connection to the girls or something.
Yeah, he did have a weird connection to somebody that really wasn't required that he recuse himself, but it was more of a professional choice that he made.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, if it was the right move, good on him.
Yeah.
So, Gull was expected to hear from defense attorneys and prosecutors regarding several motions. Allen's defense team has filed a motion to suppress certain evidence from the case. The probable cause affidavit, unsealed in November 2022, indicated that investigators found an unspent round near the girls' bodies. A forensic expert determined the bullet had been ejected from Allen's Sig Sauer Model P226. Allen's attorneys are challenging that evidence, but Gull pushed back a hearing on that specific aspect of the case to a later date. The judge also indicated that several documents related to the case have been kept under seal, would be made available on a website. Ultimately, jury selection was scheduled to take place on January 8th, 2024, which will kick off the trial into the Delphi murders and determine if Allen is found guilty or innocent of committing the crime. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks at the Carroll County Courthouse. Jurors will be selected in the Allen County and bused to Delphi.
Oh,
interesting.
Really? Dang.
Interesting.
Oh, could you imagine getting pulled for that jury?
No.
I used
I
to
would
live in Allen
listen.
County. That could have
I
been
would
me.
never want to be on a fucking jury.
I want to do jury duty, but not necessarily for a murder.
Yeah, I have no desire, zero desire, to be pulled for jury duty.
I do.
Zero. No, no thanks. I'm good.
No.
I'm
I'd like
good.
to see all the steps, see all the things, but
No.
I don't know. This is weird though. The big thing that everybody's talking about is how awful Richard Allen looked compared to when he got arrested. And admittedly, it is really weird that he's been housed in a prison, not a jail. That isn't standard. It's not disallowed. It's just not normal.
Right. You normally stay at the jail until you're sentenced, and then you go to prison.
And it's secure. They did it for his own safety. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like that was a good choice because I'm familiar enough with the jails in that type of county. They're not good, and jailhouse deaths happen often. It's sad, but I'm not kidding you. Already this year, in my vicinity of Indiana, I've heard of 3 different prisoners or jail people dying in jail. So, like,
Yeah.
I get why they did it, but it is also pretty unfair to him. He's being treated like he's been convicted when he hasn't.
Yeah.
So it is a really tough thing. But the judge did agree for him to be moved. The arrangements just haven't been like finalized yet, but the judge did go ahead and approve for him to be
Yeah.
moved. So
Well, you and I know. I'm not going to say we all know because we all don't know. But you and I both know that the system is very, very flawed. It's a very flawed system.
yeah,
It makes mistakes all the time, and I don't know that it corrects them very well.
right.
I think that prosecutors have to learn to take an L.
Yeah,
I think they have to learn hard to take an L. You know, like it's not always about winning. It's about finding justice.
right. This case does look like, though, that that's why they've kept everything under seal and they've tried to. It does feel like they're trying to do everything right so that if they do get a conviction, it's not appealable. Like
Right.
we want to
Well,
get
that's
them
the
clean.
thing. Like, well, that's what I mean. Like, let's do this the right way.
Right.
You know, like if the dude's guilty,
Yeah.
let's do this the right way so that it stays that way. You know, and if somebody is not guilty and we find out along the way, let's correct it.
Yeah.
You know, that's my biggest problem with a lot of this stuff is that they don't correct it.
Right.
When they're wrong, they're not willing to step down off their fucking high horse and admit that they're wrong. They'd rather choke on their own fucking pride.
They play a statistics game too in the moves they make when it comes to that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And that's what bunks up the system a lot too, you know.
Yeah, it's too bad. So, how to create a sex scandal.
Phew.
So you delved into that little 3-part fun fest.
I did.
So, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen this thing, we are probably going to delve into the whole meat and potatoes of it. So if you have not seen and intend to watch How to Create a Sex Scandal on HBO or HBO Max or whatever the
I think
fuck
it's
it's
just called
called
Max
now.
now, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it's fucking called now, I don't know. Then then definitely turn off now. But so I delved into this last week, and what a crazy documentary! Like from the trailer, from the jump, I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
So it's in, where does it take place? Mineola? Is it Mineola, Texas?
I don't know the town, but it was definitely Texas, yeah.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick so that we have some information on it. How to create a sex scandal.
It wasn't what I expected it to be, that's for sure.
So, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Mineola, the Mineola Sex Club in Texas. So, this whole thing, I dove into this for the fuck of it. Like I said, my son was here, and he tends to like documentaries. So we decide, I popped the first episode on. We get through it, and he's like, "I'm invested now." I'm like, "We'll finish it up tomorrow."
Right.
So and then we finished it up the next day. It was really fucking good. So backstory on this: there's this swingers club in Mineola, Texas, and I guess this woman, what's her name? I can't remember her fucking name now. What the name of the woman and the husband? Let me fucking pop that back up again. Let me see. Bum, bum, bum. Let me find their names. Margie Cantrell and John Cantrell.
Yep.
So they took in these 3 kids. Yeah, it was a young girl, a boy, and then the older sister. And I can't remember all the names, but anyway, these kids, supposedly the Cantrells wanted to purchase or rent out the building that was the old swingers club.
Yeah. It only was in operation for like 4 or 5 years, and it was a big scandal, and then it shut down.
Right.
And she had like 8 other adopted or foster children too. She had like double digits foster kids.
Right. Plus her own kids.
Right. Plus her own kids.
Right. So there's like 15 kids all in all. And as soon as I heard that, and I said this last week, as soon as I heard how many kids she had, I paused it. Paused the fucking documentary. I turned to my son and I went, "This bitch is doing it for the money."
Yeah.
And I said, "I don't care what they say. I don't care what she says. Because I know it's going to come up. This bitch is doing it for the fucking money."
Right.
So, get back to the documentary. So they're looking to rent, purchase, whatever, this building. They take these kids there, these 3 kids, supposedly. This is allegedly. This is the story. And upon going into this building, these children remember horrific things that happened to them in this building. They also wind up implicating their cousin or aunt. No, their aunt. But she's their age.
Yes.
Which is
their
odd,
grandmother had a daughter.
A daughter,
the
right.
same time as her daughter was having kids.
Correct.
Yes.
So, and she got dragged into it too. So anyway, the kids were able to describe like things, I guess, supposedly, and they remembered like how a room looked. That was never really explained in the documentary. But anyway, they said that their mom and her boyfriend were bringing them there to that sex club to do things with people, and dance around on poles and collect money and do sex acts, and that they went to this kindergarten class where they learned this shit. And it all sounds very horrible. And then you get into the trials and they start just convicting these people one after the other.
Because of these children's testimony, which is on video.
Right.
And it is pretty, when you see it, it is pretty like, whoa. Like these little teeny tiny babies. I mean, there's that little girl is so young.
Yeah.
and saying these horrific things so confidently.
Well, here's the other thing that was the red flag for me. Okay? The minute I saw those interviews with the children, first red flag for me. Margie's in the fucking room.
Yes, I was gonna say, that yes, the mother,
Margie never should
foster
have been in
mother.
that room for
Yes.
those interviews.
And not only is she in the room,
or if she was in the room, she should have been told to shut her fucking mouth.
well, and that's the difference. Is it's one thing to have, a trusted adult in the room for support just to be present. She was very much involved in the interview, if not taking the lead. In fact, with the aunt that's really still a little girl, Gabby, I think that was her name.
Yep.
They let the mother go in there by herself without the officer and pressure her and talk to her on camera.
And then they brought the kid in.
Yeah.
They
Yes,
brought
and
in
the two little kids. They put them in a room. Oh,
Yeah.
it was so bad.
It was
so
okay.
bad.
So anyway, they wind up convicting a bunch of these people, and they get to a certain point, and one of the people, I don't remember how it happens, but it winds up. They find out that all of this is like,
Booger Red.
was it Booger Red where they find out finally
His
that
lawyer. Booger Red got a good lawyer that was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, and that's when they started digging into it, and then the kids started recanting.
Once they got older.
Well, no, the aunt there, the young aunt there recanted on the stand, and they still prosecuted the dude.
Yeah.
And then the other kids wound up recanting and saying that it never happened, and that Margie was a fucking bitch. She was
All
like
but one. One of the daughters.
Yeah, one of the oldest one.
Yes, the older one that you really didn't see a whole lot of.
She wouldn't participate in the documentary.
She is still loyal to Margie.
Really?
That's what the end of the documentary said, yeah.
I didn't notice that, but I noticed that she still is sticking to her story.
She's never recanted, supposedly.
But it ruined these people's lives. One of the guys died in jail.
After everybody else had already gotten let out.
They had put their own mother in jail. For years.
Those kids did, yeah.
Yeah. So they felt horrible. It's a sad story all the way around. And so the reason that it comes around that people that as to why Margie did this shit was that if a child was in danger in some way, you got more money for them.
Well, if they were needier, if they needed more services.
Right, because of the damage that had been done to them.
Right.
So, what a fucking racket. Just what a fucking racket if that's the case. That's my opinion on the whole thing, is that that's what it was about. It was about money for Margie.
Yeah.
And I don't think she cared that she ruined people's lives. I tend to think that those people were innocent, and that she planted a seed in a little girl's head who already despised her mother for her drug abuse and for the things that she was doing. I think she was old enough to know about those sorts of things and to be able to say, I just dislike her. I don't care either way.
Right.
And so her mind was way more malleable to be able to make her believe in that scenario and stick with it. So I could see that with her. The younger kids, not so much. Maybe they didn't see the drug abuse as much. So that's why they were able to get pulled into it, but later on they recanted and said, no, this shit didn't happen.
That's what's so hard, especially after the first episode. Obviously, I could see where it was going, but I didn't have all the information yet. I was thinking, how does a person get 3 kids To be on the same page and say all that shit. 3 separate kids, 3 separate personalities, 3 separate
Well,
perspectives.
if you watch through the interviews, they kind of explain how it was done.
She was kind of pulling it out of them and pressuring them and saying, remember, and like, so, but it's impressive. That footage is, it's hard to hear little kids say that and not,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But hey, listen, there was no adult testimony to any people being in there at that time, or those people being in there at that time.
Right. Well, but that's actually the other thing that surprised me is I kind of thought, okay, this sex club was in operation for several years and there were known customers of it.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the very beginning, I think they even had a clip of one person talking about what it was like in there.
Yeah.
That it was, a chill place, not what you would think. And I still can't imagine that of all those patrons, not a single one spoke up and was like, yo, I was there regularly and I never once saw this shit. That didn't go down here. Or conversely, if that was going on, I can't imagine that somebody who innocently did just want to go and enjoy a swingers club with other consenting adults, see little kids in there performing and not go like, yo, we got to do something.
Run to the fucking authorities.
Right. Like either way you look at it, it's kind of like, it's hard to believe weird. There's not somebody coming forward in either direction.
Like I said, I tend to think that this was contrived. I tend to think that this was a story and not a real thing. However, there's still that lingering doubt because of some things there. But ultimately I go back to I don't think it happened. I don't think that it fucking happened. I think it was a sad set of circumstances. I think some kids that were in a very bad situation, living with a mother who was going through some rough times. And hey, I was a person who went through some rough times with drugs.
Yeah.
I can empathize with that. And she had her kids taken away from her. And then this happens. And these kids are forever changed because of it. She's forever changed because of it. Mm-hmm. Her mother's forever changed because of it, because her mother winds up in jail. Her mother says at the end of the documentary, I don't trust anybody anymore.
Right. It's the mother and the grandmother.
Yeah.
There's literally like 3 generations of people affected.
Yeah, by this whole thing.
One family.
Yeah. And the father of the young aunt there, to see him, going and helping her, and how fucking devastating that was to me as a dad.
Yeah.
Watching that, like it just,
that was awful.
It was heartbreaking. Like here he is, his daughter's just asking for his help, and technically he's not even supposed to be around her. Yeah,
because he was one of the people that went down too.
Right. Like that, it just, what a fucked up story. If you have Max and you have the opportunity to sit down and watch this thing, it's 3 like 45, 50-minute episodes, and it's worth the time.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Like to hear like stuff like this, I think people should know about shit like this. It's like the documentary Dear Zachary.
Yeah.
Dear Zachary, if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. Or, just pop it onto your fucking Roku. It will tell you where it's free, that you can watch it. Such a great documentary. And everyone should see that. Everyone should know that the Canadian government, in conjunction with the U.S. government, allowed that to happen.
Right.
That's exactly, the point of that to me. Like, everyone should know that.
Yeah. It's a social lesson.
Yeah. It's a very strange set of circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dear Zachary, I recommend that one too if you haven't seen it. Was there any cult news this week? Just trying to think. I know. I just watched the video there that Aaron did that Russia like is booting Scientology out or something.
They've
Kinda.
It was a
Sorta.
clarification of a previous statement, really, where he said they're still operating in Russia, but technically they're banned.
Right.
But they are still operating even though they're banned.
Right. And they're kind of allowed to, like under the radar. Everything in fucking Russia's kind of weird. They move their fucking corrupt cops and, well, I guess ours aren't much better sometimes.
Right.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know when it comes to that shit anymore.
Have you heard anything about the, it's kind of culty, not technically, maybe, the Shiny Happy People doc?
I wanted to get into that, actually.
Yes. Isn't it on Amazon Prime? I think that's where it's at.
Maybe I'll get into that this week, and we can talk about that next week.
I haven't seen any of it, but I've watched.
That's
other
definitely something that I want to get into,
Okay.
to talk about, because I think that would be a great one for us to go down that rabbit hole. I was looking at it the other day, and almost pulled the trigger. You know what I did rewatch was An Honest Liar.
That sounds so familiar. What's that?
The story of James Randi. The Amazing
Give me
Randi.
That sounds so. Why?
The guy that has the $1 Million Challenge for psychics, and you know, it's the documentary of his life, his life's work, and all the stuff that he did, and like the whole thing is that at the end of the documentary, you find out that he's been lying his whole life about his partner, who's actually his name. He stole somebody's identity and came to the U.S. And
I feel like that's in a deep, dark filing cabinet in my brain somewhere. It all sounds so familiar, but I can't place it.
If you haven't seen it, there's a few free places you can watch it online. You should definitely go back and watch it. I loved rewatching that. James Randi is the shit. So for those of you that don't know, the reason, one of the reasons why I started doing the Fortean slip and doing this kind of thing where I look at, strange things and kind of with a critical eye is because of James Randi. Like the Amazing Randi challenge, the $1 Million challenge, somebody come forward with real psychic abilities and I'll give you $1 million. But no one ever came forward. I'm pretty sure he's dead now. I'll look it up, just to make the clarification.
Honestly, for some reason, I'm just drawing a blank. Maybe that just sounds so familiar when you say it. An Honest Liar, and
yeah, and you'd know. He died in 2020, October 20th, 2020, at 92.
Wow, that's a good long life.
Yeah, he was a magician.
Yeah.
Initially, and he really believed that magicians were con men, but they told you they were con men.
Right.
And then
that's the whole honest liar part.
Right. Like you I'm gonna cheat you,
but you're gonna like it, and it'll be fun.
But you're gonna like it, and it's gonna and it's amazing what some of these fucking guys can do.
Oh, it is.
So, but then he dedicated his life to exposing frauds and tricksters, and Peter Popoff and Uri Geller, and the dude there that could that told people he could move telephone book pages with his mind, but he was just blowing on them.
Right.
Shit like that. So I love that shit, and I love the documentary. It's a great documentary. He's a very interesting fella. Well worth looking at. and his life work and the stuff that he's done. To me, I think it's priceless.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of thing that I like. I like seeing the frauds be called out.
Right.
I like seeing the truth be told.
Yes.
You know, in all of this, I have always liked coming to the truth of the matter. You know, going back to like the Norm Glasser thing, which just recently came back up because Steve went on that podcast. They had to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, I like seeing that shit brought to light. You know, this is not a real thing that this person is saying is a real creature. No, it's not. It's not a real thing. Like, those are the types of reveals that I like.
Yeah, you like to see the mirrors be moved away and the smoke cleared out. And like, what's really going on here?
I want to see the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I completely want to see the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And I want to see him exposed. You know,
I think that's why I'm so
me.
nosy. I'm such a nosy person in real life, and it's because I just want to know the truth. I don't. It's even when it's none of my business, and that's why all this stuff is so fascinating. Murder stories and mysteries and stuff. It's just like in our human nature to like, I don't know, want to dig and gather information and put the puzzle together. You know.
I definitely like this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun to look at. I don't just do this for the podcast. I do it because it's stuff I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I enjoy looking at it, but yeah, we'll have to look into that. We'll definitely have to look into the Shiny Happy People doc.
Yeah, I've been watching some people talk about it, and I'm somewhat familiar with the Duggars anyway. So yeah,
we'll look at that. I'll look at that, and we'll dive into that for next week for the second half of the show. And I definitely think we should do a deep dive on the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell story, the cult, the murders.
That's another deep one. There's a lot there.
Yeah, well, we hit both bases with that one. There's a cult. It's true crime.
It's true. That is true. It's got everything.
It's got everything. We can cover everything in the second.
To go, though. It's not done.
Yeah, we still got Chad.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
So, we'll wrap it up there for tonight. And yeah, we'll get into the Shiny Happy People doc for next Monday. Now, you said that we may have an issue for you for Monday. So here's my workaround for that. If in fact we think that there's going to be an issue, we could always do the show Sunday night, or we could record it on Sunday, and then I could just upload it and premiere it on Monday night.
I think I'll be back in time. It should be fine.
Well, if you think not, we always have those options, but yeah. And I could always start without you, and you could show up if you think you're going to be like coming in hot.
Right. That's true.
So
honestly, I would be upset if I weren't home in time. I'm an old lady. I need to be home by a certain hour.
Yeah. I hear that. All right. So on that note, we'll wrap this up. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's no more. If you're over on the Facebook page, my recommendation is to go to the Twitter page. It just is the way it is. I forgot to put the banner up for the Dunn family PayPal account. If you'd like to make a donation to the Dunn family for Fred for his cancer treatments, the PayPal account is dreadfun@outlook.com. That's DREDFUNN@outlook.com. There was a pretty decent show of support for Fred, to be honest. There's a few people who sent some stuff in. I don't know where it came from or, in what direction. I know that Matt did some promoting of this. I know that we did some promoting of this. I know that some other people did some promoting of this. So it was a good showing of support for them. So I appreciate it. We'll continue to promote it for a little while. I know Fred's still going through some treatments. I just saw him going through a chemo treatment. They made a post, so he's still out there going through all that fun shit. And support Fred. Go over to youtube.com/dreadfun. Show him some love. And subscribe to the podcast, people. Go over to Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts. The only place we're not at is Apple. No fuck Apple for you. Yes, fuck Apple. They took down the show for some fucking reason. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. So I'm just not even going to bother. It's on Spotify. It's on Stitcher. It's on Amazon Music. It's on Google Podcasts. Subscribe to the podcast. Download the podcast. Support the show. Please and thank you. And go support us over at the Twitter page at Fortean Files. And we'll be back next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with another show for you. And we will get into the Shiny Happy People doc in the second hour. First hour, it's always up for grabs. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. It's what we get from fucking news stories.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a fun little gamble. You never know what you're going to get.
It's a roll of the fucking dice for the fucking first hour. Second hour, sometimes it's a roll of the dice. Sometimes we have a plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes. It's all a roll of the dice with this show. I could start the show at fucking, because I start the link, or the show starts technically, like I go in and do everything at like 6:10 or so, 6:20.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, we'll be back next week, people.
Yes, we will.
And maybe I won't be so high that I can't think.
Lessons were learned tonight.
No, they're never fucking learned. Are you fucking kidding me? But we did get through it.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was great.
Yeah, we got through it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to bring you guys another fun-filled, exciting episode with shit. Until then, have fun. Be good to one another. And see ya.